Jordan Peterson has been a bit of a pulverizing figure ever since he came into the public eye. Jordan B. Peterson is a Canadian clinical psychologist, professor, and author who has gained a large following for his lectures, interviews, and written work. Peterson is perhaps best known for his critiques of political correctness and his opposition to compelled speech, particularly his stance on Bill C-16, a Canadian legislation that added gender identity and expression to the list of prohibited grounds of discrimination in the Canadian Human Rights Act. Born in Alberta, Canada in 1962, Peterson obtained his bachelor's degree in political science from the University of Alberta and his PhD in psychology from McGill University. He has taught at the University of Toronto, where he is currently a full professor since 1998. In addition to his academic work, Peterson has also worked as a clinical psychologist, treating individuals with anxiety and depression. Peterson's ideas have drawn both praise and criticism. His supporters see him as a fearless intellectual who challenges prevailing wisdom and encourages individuals to take responsibility for their lives. His detractors, on the other hand, view him as a divisive figure who promotes harmful and regressive views on gender and social issues. Peterson's most well-known book, 12 Rules for Life: An Antidote to Chaos, has been a bestseller and has been translated into more than 50 languages. In it, he offers practical advice for living a fulfilling life, drawing on a wide range of sources including literature, religion, and personal experience. Despite the controversy surrounding him, Peterson remains a significant influence on public discourse, particularly in North America and Europe. He has a large following on social media platforms such as YouTube and has been featured in numerous media outlets, including the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and Time magazine. Jordan Peterson now is finding himself in a battle that he has been warning everyone over, and it might have serious effects on his career moving forward. Peterson is in the middle of a massive lawsuit where he can actually lose his title of doctor and his license to practice psychology should he not be willing to go and re-educate himself, whatever that means. To sum up exactly what is happening here, Jordan Peterson posted on Twitter that he was pretty much being investigated after someone made a complaint to the psychologist's college, and in the complaint, they lied out some of the tweets he has made in the past. Peterson then posted the document online highlighting all of the tweets he was being investigated for. These tweets involved speaking out against their Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He was also criticized for the tweet he made in response to a person who was complaining about overpopulation. Peterson stated that the person was free to leave whenever he wanted, and many read this as Peterson telling the person to commit suicide. As a result of this, there was a complaint launched, and it reads as follows: "It is against every ethical standard and best practice of the U.S. National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics to make light of, encourage, joke about, or reference the topic of suicide in a manner that is not grounded in safety, prevention, and evidence-based therapeutic intervention." The complaint notes. When Peterson was notified of this complaint, his response was that he was simply not going to spend the hours and days required to undergo the unbelievably stressful process necessary to respond to this formally. "So no, I am not going to defend myself. Do whatever you want." With all of this, in order for Peterson to keep his license, he has to submit himself to a re-education program. Spiked reports. This week, Peterson revealed that the regulator has been trying to take him down a peg or two. It has reportedly demanded that he undergo mandatory social media communication training, and should he refuse, he could lose his clinical license. This follows a series of complaints the regulator received about tweets Peterson posted over the past year. It says these tweets, posted to his 3.6 million Twitter followers, are embarrassing to the profession. The proposed training is not just some box-ticking exercise. The college has provided a specified continuing education or remedial program for Peterson to complete so that he can review, reflect on, and ameliorate professionalism in public statements. And this re-education will cost him up to $225 per hour. There is no pretense from the Ontario College of Psychologists that any of this is about the quality of Peterson's clinical practice. None of the complaints against him is from a former client. It is quite clearly his political views that are being targeted. With that, it goes without saying, but Peterson has rejected the idea of going for re-education and stated that he would rather lose his license than attend a program like this. After all of this, Jordan Peterson has decided to take legal action, stating that he does not trust the college and its processes, so the best way to fight back would be through a court of law. Peterson has previously spoken out against these type of things even recently in an interview he had with Sky News. Canadian psychologist, author and famous anti-woke thinker Jordan Peterson warned Western countries that a totalitarian social credit system coming to their societies is highly probable. In a recent interview with Australia's Sky News, Peterson claimed that the policies and restrictions implemented by Western nations during the recent pandemic may pave the way for an automated social credit and digital passport system that would endanger the rights of citizens. He also said that most of the public has no idea that it could happen. Sky News' Rita Panahi introduced the topic, asking, "Do you think what we did during the pandemic could usher in our version of a social credit system?" Without hesitation, Peterson responded by saying, "Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, that's highly probable." Panahi followed up, "and that it will be accepted by many people. They won't even notice," her guest interjected, adding, "You can't believe how much people don't know these things." He then gave an example showing how many Western leaders have yet to learn about wokeness and cancel culture, and the threat it could pose. Peterson said, "When I went to the UK, I talked to some people from the House of Lords. The most astute of the people sitting in the House of Lords had only become aware of the woke movement in the last 18 months. It is unclear right now how all of this is going to play out, but one thing is for certain, and that is the fact that Jordan Peterson is planning on fighting back against all of the allegations levied against him. Irrespective of what you think about him, taking his license away over tweets will be a massive violation of his rights and something that no person should be calling for."